My service providers, I have a quick question for you. Are you offboarding your clients? Think about it now. Okay, if the answer is no, don't worry about it at all. Stick around for this video. I'm going to talk to you about the importance of offboarding your clients because I would argue it's almost just as important as onboarding your clients. But I never see any content or read any content or hear any content about anyone talking about the importance of offboarding. So I was like, you know what? This would be a perfect video for me to do for you all. My name is Lynette Renee Dobie, and I'm a professional ghostwriter. And on this channel, I talk all things writing from the perspective of myself being a professional writer. And so I want to help other writers. And also, if you're an author or if you just have a general interest in this content, this is where you need to be. So with that in mind, I need you to do a couple things for me. Go ahead and like this video because I'm pretty sure you're going to like it. And then if you're interested in the topics that I just chatted about, press subscribe. So that way you can be notified every single time that I make a video. And also once you hit that bell notification icon. And then lastly, if you got some value from this video, please, we don't gatekeep around here. So share the video with someone in your network. I'll give you a second to do that and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, thank you so much. So I was thinking about my past work history at different places that I worked, restaurants or wherever I worked in the past. And I remember that some places, they wouldn't even think about offboarding. Your last day was your last day. They were like, deuces. But here in the land of professional service providers, we make sure that we cover all of our bases. So that's why offboarding is so important. And also, you'll be surprised to know that it also helps you legally if you properly offboard a client. So let's go ahead and get started. So number one, I put, are we finished or are we done? So if you know the reference, you know. But essentially within that statement, I know they both seem to be the same thing, but literally you've got to put some finality on the end of the project with the client. So that way they have no misunderstanding about if the project is completed or if it's finished or whatever. Because I recently had a colleague and they had a client who after 2 years of them doing a service for them, the client did a chargeback for that service saying that they didn't get it from the service provider. Yeah, people are shady like that and they do things like that. So if you have proper offboarding, then there's no way that they can win a case or a claim against you because you have the physical proof that the project was not only done, but it was done well, it was completed, and the client was indeed aware of the completion of the project. So how you're going to do that is very strategically. You're going to get an acknowledgement from the client. But I want to tell you this, it's not going to be something that's so on the nose. The document isn't going to say, yes, we completed this document on this date. No, it's not going to say that because on this channel, we work smarter, not harder. So what you're going to do is create a document that encompasses so many different things, but at the same time, it's slick is your proof from the client that you did the project for them and they were satisfied with that. So you can create an offboarding document. Call it what you may. You can say last step or final steps, whatever you want to call it, but I like to call it just simply an offboarding document. And within this document, you're going to have a couple of things. This will be your opportunity to get some feedback from the client, to see what they liked from what you did, and also areas of opportunity because we're still learning, right? We want to make sure that we continually always strive for improvement. So those are the two questions that I would definitely start with. What did you like that I did? And also, what can I improve upon? And then next within that document, after that feedback, then you're going to say, the highest compliment of my work is if you were to refer me to someone in your network. Do you happen to know anyone else who I could help in the manner that I helped you? So within that document, you're also getting a referral. See how smart that is? Because I used to always do this. I would finish working with a client and then it would just kind of be over. That's it. I wouldn't ask them for any referrals because I don't know. I guess I was nervous or apprehensive to ask for it, but now it's mandatory. It goes in the form, in the offboarding form. Who else could I help within your network? Since you enjoy working with me so much, is there anyone else that I could help? There's so many different ways that you can say it, but you get the gist of it. You want to ask for that referral. Don't leave it to chance that they'll meet someone out and about and just recommend you. That does happen, true indeed. But if you're intentional and you ask for it, at least you're moving forward with a name. Then next, you're going to ask them to write a testimonial. And I would advise you to do this in a couple of different ways. I would advise you, to ask your client to write a shorter one, something that's maybe 2 or 3 sentences, and then write a longer one. And you could just tell them in the instructions on the form for that particular line item, you can say, this will go on my website. Please let me know if you're okay with me abbreviating your name and using it for marketing and promotions for my services and for my company. So you're getting all of this in the document. You see how smart this is to have everything kind of tied in together. And then lastly, you would need to have something that says something like the following, what I'm going to share with you. It would need to say, now that we're at the completion of this project, I just want to make sure that you understand that this project is now officially done because you have the final deliverable. And if there's anything else that you want to ask or add in this section, please do it here. So they can either write it off or they can check it off. They can write something in a space or they can check it off. But either way, that will serve as your acknowledgement that they understand that this project is closed and you both are moving on. And this is especially important if you have a client and they're getting another service from you, because what will tend to happen with clients is that they will start to merge the scopes of the project, and then that becomes a huge mess. So you want to ensure that you punctuate one project even before you begin another one. Because think about it. If, let's say, you're writing their manuscript and then they want you to do their LinkedIn copy, those are two totally different things, totally different price points, and two totally different intentions. So once you punctuate the manuscript, you'll have that acknowledgement within the offboarding guide or the offboarding feedback form. And then you will then begin to send the new contract and new agreement for the onboarding for the LinkedIn content. So it's really good to punctuate everything. So I hope that made sense, because I kind of put everything together, all of my talking points together. But essentially, as I look at my list, what you want to ensure that you're doing is giving a clear handoff, a closing of the book, if you will, in the beginning of a new chapter. Because I have seen some crazy different things and when it comes to working with clients, but you are in control of how crazy or how professional and organized on the converse of that it gets and it becomes and how it stays. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. And then another very important thing is you want to return the client's credentials or remove yourself off whatever software you're working for them or any sort of thing that's proprietary for them. You want to remove yourself either by having them do it, or you could do it yourself as one of your last final acts. And also you want to remove their access. So for instance, I did a course a little while ago and I'm going to re-release it. I have some modules that I just need to videotape. I'm going to re-release them, but when I did my beta testers for my course, they had access to the course for, I believe it was 2 or 3 months after I taught them the modules. So that allowed them to, kind of go back and do a lesson if they wanted to get more information on something. But after a certain point in time, that access stopped. And so you can use Google Drive, or you can use any sort of file sharing software that enables you to limit access for whatever asset or deliverable that you have that the client will be accessing. And so that way there'll be no confusion about any sort of access to something and whose asset is whose and all these different things. You just want to nip all of that in the bud, because you don't want it to be a thing where you all begin to argue over, no, but you said I could have this and that. You want that to be clear, cut, and final. And then next, when it comes to payment, never, ever, ever, ever have a final communication email with a client or something and it has money still on the table. Like if the client has gotten the final deliverable, first they should have paid you before they get the final deliverable, because that way you can revoke their access, if they don't ever pay. But you want to make sure that all of that is clear and squared away, so there will be no miscommunication on that, because it's super hard to go back and get the client to pay you because people just aren't good in this world. I mean, when it comes to business and money, you would be surprised. So safeguard yourself by making sure that all of your payment dates have been met, and there is no way that they can say, "Oh, well, I thought that I don't know where this is coming from," even though you've done all the work. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know. I thought that I was going to do no, because if they still have a balance with you that is yet to be paid, they don't need to be offboarding nothing. No, you don't need to do that. Get your payment first, get that coin, and then you can proceed with the offboarding. But still, just in your mind, you should have a checklist, or excuse me, on your Google Drive or something, you should have a checklist of all the things you need to do on your end to offboard the client. And that includes making sure that all the finances have been paid. And that probably goes without saying. Some of you may be thinking, but you would be surprised. Make sure everything is paid in full. All right. So essentially, that's literally all I have. I just wanted to do a really quick offboarding video because I know for a fact that a lot of service providers are not doing offboarding. And if you have anything to add to this video, if there's something you think I left off the video or left out of the video, please let me know, because I want to make sure that I'm getting you all the education and all the support that you need. So I hope you enjoyed this quick but helpful video, and I'll definitely see you in the next upload. Bye.